Good evening, everybody. Isn't it nice to be back? So tonight I have Ash on the channel. We're going to watch and talk about this game that you played against Quinn.
Yes, this was maybe 2 weeks ago or so now. This was a best of three series between Quinn and I, where I used the same list 3 times in a row, because the first game I managed to massively mess up and fly Grievous off the board, and we wanted to do a what would have happened if we had won. So yeah, we played 3 games of this, with my list staying the same and Quinn changed his list each time, which was quite nice. Got a variety of stuff to go against.
That sounds pretty good, actually. Does that mean you have a reasonably competitive list then?
I like to think so. I'm quite a competitive person. Like I'll play around with ideas, but I try and build a list for like the idea of if a tournament comes up and it's extended, because this is an extended list.
Yeah.
If a tournament comes up, then great, I'll go for it. Like it might be a list to use. So trial it.
Yeah, I like that. I also would really love to see and take part in some proper competitive stuff in the future. Hopefully once the virus of doom calms down a little bit, we'll all be able to get out there and actually have some decent fun.
Yes, so I'm hoping we get a few good games on Tabletop Simulator, because you can really play around with random lists and different factions without having to spend hundreds of pounds on all the ships and stuff for an entirely different faction than you normally would play.
Yeah, I like that you can test and trial things, and if you think, right, do I need one more of this? You can see how it works, and then you go, yeah, I'll get another one. Or even if you want to trial a whole new faction, so that's open to you as well. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. So let's have a quick breakdown of the list. Ash, tell us about your separatists.
Yeah, so I've gone for obviously the new ship out being the HMP gunship. So decided to try and make a list with that in mind. So I have got, going from the top, I have got 3 vulture droids. Each of them has got grappling struts, because at one point ago, why wouldn't you have that? I've also got on 2 of them energy shell charges. Couldn't get it on the 3rd one because didn't have enough points left over. So if FFG could drop some points, that'd be beautiful.
Just give us a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Just I need another 3 points. I'm at 198 right now. I can settle for a 200 if I get the 3rd energy shell charges on. Backing them up is General Grievous with Soulless 1 and Impervium plating, because again, why wouldn't you have that with General Grievous?
Lovely standard
Soulless
Grievous.
1, exactly. Extra 2 hull, gives you the reroll abilities, and also Impervium plating. If you get dealt a crit, that's a ship 1. You just go, no, I'll throw that away, thanks. For 2 of them, it absolutely has come into play for me in the past, and it's really annoying for other people, so why not?
I can attest.
Yes, and last up on the list is the HMP droid grunt ship. I've gone for the Onderan Oppressor with multi-missile pods, the repulsor lift stabilizers, and Kraken. Kraken I have for a very good reason. So obviously the gunship uses the amount of target locks on a ship. You can reroll that many die. So I like to get a combo with the vulture droids of get Kraken in early, so they've all got at least 1 calculate on them from the beginning, and then when I do get to the engagement phase, the first thing they can all do is do a target lock on one ship, and then I get all those rerolls pretty early on as a little bit of a strategy, which has worked in my favour so far, so I'm quite happy with it.
It sounds like a great combo. I've definitely faced Kraken a few times, and he's very powerful.
Yes, I'm a fan of anything that lets you keep tokens, because as a Empire flyer predominantly, before I got into Separatists, there just isn't much that's like, oh yeah, all of you get to keep these tokens, great.
It's certainly a new mechanic. The Republic will have that to look forward to when Shark Tea comes out at the end of the month, so that'll be exciting to see. But yeah, that looks like a really good list, and I think you have a very competitive list there. Have a look at Quinn. On his team, we have Lando in the Millennium Falcon, or the YT 1300, and he has got Nia Num. Whereas his teammate is Dash Rendar in the YT 2400 Outrider, and he's got the Outrider card, obviously. He's equipped trick shot, piston, and he's got a rigged cargo chute as well. So he will be potentially dropping an extra bit of debris to cause some havoc. Although I don't believe that's going to be too much of an issue for the droids.
No, with vulture droids, it's quite a good thing, I'd say.
Yeah, droids are able to land on debris clouds, they're able to land on asteroids, but they're not allowed to land on gas clouds.
No, provided obviously you've got the grappling struts equipped, which, as I said, if you're flying droids, you really just chuck them on as a standard part of your build, really, unless you really need 3 points. Maybe for energy shell charges, I could have, saved a few points there, but I quite like just flying at a rock and landing on it.
It's like the Y-Wing. I don't see why you would take it without a turret or an R4. I think it's the same. You should always have your struts.
Yes, there are certain ships that certain cards are just bread and butter, same as Whisper, the TIE Phantoms with Duke. You just wouldn't have a Phantom without Duke. It would make very little sense unless you really haven't got the points for it.
I think so. It's even more so with your configuration cards, so your struts or your Jedi, even if it's a CLT, not necessarily a 7B, you want to have a config. I would stress never take a ship that's not got his config equipped.
Yes, exactly.
So already the game has begun and the Separatists have begun moving, as well as the Rebels.
Yeah, should have missed it right at the beginning. So I'm still playing around kind of with how I lay the ships out and what first move I need to do to get the clearance. And the vulture droid on the far right, or the very bottom of the map, just behind Grievous, first move wasn't long enough, so it was like straight bump. But at this stage of the game, I don't really mind too much because I can bring that back really easily. And yeah, like there was no shooting this round. It was hardly like I was going to miss having green token at the time, so I don't really mind.
Yeah. I think working out what to do in your early turns is a big deal, because a lot of games I've played, the importance of the early turn is often quite understated. Where you position yourself to start, where you decide to move in your first turn, it can be quite key.
Absolutely, you need to know what you're doing from the word go. If you've got a plan in mind, you need to try and execute the plan as best to your ability as you can. I know one of the guys down at Entoyment on a Wednesday night hates it when people start off with their ship's turn, because I can't remember who it was who said it, but they always say it looks like they've already got a plan in mind, ready to go before you even started. And yeah, that's the absolute reason I do it.
Even if they don't, it could be a nice scare tactic.
It scares people, exactly.
It's like Phil was using an interesting opener that he found and adapted for his tournament list. So it is stuff like that can be really important in the early stages of the game, and you just don't know, and you have to work out, right, what's the best thing I can do here? What is the absolute worst thing? An example I think we have here is Grievous again. I think Grievous, he's a fast ship, isn't he, Grievous?
Yes, very much so. He's got a 5 straight forward, and he's got quite a lot of manoeuvrability. Even on a 3, you've still got a free bank. You have got a free hard, which is stress, but it's still, you're quite a manoeuvrable ship. Especially if you can get behind someone or out of their firing arc. You've got all the rerolls that you'd like. Grievous is quite a good ship for trying to flank with. Yeah.
I think keeping him in the early turns, doing a 5 straight for maybe a couple of turns, or you could turn him in around the top corner there, around Quinn's edge. I think that's a great tactic to start with.
That quite possibly will be what I do here. If I remember the game correctly, it will be a free bank to the left.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Just kind of getting that sweeping motion in game. Ready? There we are. Free sweep.
Oh,
just
beautiful.
Getting in nicely, lining up. I quite like Grievous, especially with the. Oh no, it was free hard.
That's too hard, I think. That is a 2 to the left there. Interesting.
Well, forgot the game entirely, it would seem.
Well, we shall see if that plays to your advantage. and a barrel roll as well.
Yes,
Still-
both because I wanted to move slightly further out, but a free hard is a stressful manoeuvre.
It is,
So
yeah.
quite possibly avoiding doing that.
I still think that's a reasonable decision. You've still got the entirety of that quadrant to move up in and work your way round. I think what it looks like to me is you're trying to judge where the YTs make their way, if they're going to turn in there or if they're going to continue straight up.
The YT's on their larger bases, so they're going to have that middle bit. It's quite difficult for them to manoeuvre around. So I figured they would probably stick around the edges a bit more. Maybe not dash because he just flies over an obstacle for a laugh.
Yeah.
But otherwise, especially Lando will just skirt around the outside. So really, I can use the middle to nip around a lot easier.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. It looks like a Dash could easily turn in. He could ignore that debris cloud without issue. Whereas Lando's going to have to come round the corner there, round your edge. Then he'd have that nice open space to manoeuvre a bit more, which I imagine he will do.
Absolutely. I mean, Quinn and I had a game, I think the game previous to this one, in our best of 3 series. There was a nice, where I am now, with my ships down the bottom, like that corridor of open space. We ended up having an entire hour-long fight in the middle, in that gap there, never actually utilising the rest of the board because we both, by chance, set up right in front of one another, and that was it pretty much. We were just in that space. Quite amusing. The whole map there to fly around, but we used one little corridor the entire time because didn't want to take a turn or two out of getting some shots in where possible.
Yeah. So still no combat at the end of turn 2. What do you think about the HMP at the moment?
I'm enjoying it quite a lot, actually. The idea of using target locks, not as target locks, but effectively being able to reroll anything you want regardless, I'm quite a fan of. And so far, it's proven to be a decent ship. And he's got, 8 hull, only 1 defense die. But really, if you set it up right, with that 180 arc as well, is you can, you've got the barrel roll option as a red that you could do to just get around someone or slightly out of the way, but still you have them in arc because of the sideways guns.
That's true, yes. And you've got multi-missiles on the HMP, so you've got potentially a much more lethal attack as well.
Yes, up to 4 attack die just off multi-missile alone if done correctly, which can be very painful. So that was a little turn in from the HMP and a bump there.
Yeah, he definitely wants to avoid that rock though, doesn't he? He's not going to...
Yes, he's not going to land on it.
I really like the interesting mechanic of the side slip and the HMP config card. It's certainly a unique thing which no one else can do.
Yes, definitely. I do like it. I do find it's one of those that you have to be in the right moment and really planning ahead. I tend to not flip it quite as much because obviously where it says on the card you may flip this card after fully executing a maneuver. The idea of just constantly flipping it every turn regardless doesn't sit right because you might end up wanting to do a nice bank, and instead you've got to spin round on the spot effect or sloop round off to the edge, and you might end up in a worse position than you actually intend. But if you plan it right and get 2 steps ahead in the game, figuring out where you're going, it can work really beautifully. Yeah,
which is interesting compared to Fergus, I'd say, who I think he prefers to flip much more regularly until it gets quite dicey, and then he'll say, right, I'm happy I don't need to flip there. What I think he tries to do is he'll try and be quite evasive, get round in and position himself in different places that he normally couldn't do.
And if a ship is going to do a particular move, either because there's an asteroid in the way or they're ionized or something, you can really by looking ahead at how the game's going, you can really get yourself in a very nice position using side slipping maneuver and just get out of the way and watch them go right past you. It does work really well. When it comes off, it is fantastic.
Yeah. Looks like Lando just clipped that debris cloud there, unfortunately.
Yes. So he's rolling an eye for that.
But he is stressed, which could be a lot worse. And he's still able to shoot on a gas cloud, so that's not a big deal there.
Debris field one, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, debris, sorry. Looks like we're going to have some combat this turn. Mainly the front, I'm going to say the front two, Grievous and the Brown Droid versus Dash.
Yes, I think, if memory serves, just from what Quinn was measuring up, then he was trying to take Grievous out nice and early. Which happens and is really upsetting.
And he's got trick shot as well, so to actually fire through that rock does give him an extra attack dice. So trick shot negates the fact I get an extra defense die quite nicely. I can't remember why I was round Quinn's side of the table at this point. I think we're just double checking what different card rules said. Because obviously I'm not a good guy flying person. I only ever fly either the Empire, the Glorious Empire, or recently the Separatist army. But they are 5 straight in, which is quite painful. I can see at least one blank, and it looks like 3 eyes from here. It does.
Does he spend or do you keep it? Because you've got 1, 2, 3 sets of things shooting back potentially this turn.
How many dice? No, he's not spending it. Okay, that's 2 evades for Grievous, so he is fine. Personally, I would have spent that, actually. I would have gone aggressive.
Yes, quite possible. I think it's because where I have the vultures aiming straight at him, obviously the Precise Hunter has the ability of, while you perform an attack, if the defender's in your bullseye, you may re-roll a blank result.
Which you are.
So all of a sudden, having 2 of them in, and potentially even the gunship there at range.
Looks like it is. So range 3, it would be range 3, it would be obstructed, but that is a shot.
But, you take a pop shot where you can. The YT 2400 only has 2 defense die, so you might get something good.
This looks like Biston's bonus attack as well.
Yes,
that might be why he kept it. That's a
lot of blanks.
It is. All is well, I think. I hadn't considered Biston, but I would have probably still spent that focus in the first attack.
Yeah, I think I'd have been inclined to do the same. Obviously, the YT 2400 has got 2 defense die and 10 overall health, so it's not a ship that's gonna crash out very quickly. It's definitely gonna take some damage for a few rounds.
Yeah, Grievous shooting back there, and I believe that that's 1 hit that goes through for Grievous.
Good old General.
Which just leaves the Precise Hunters, I believe. Starting with the brown one.
Yes, so the way I remember which one has got the energy shell charges and hasn't is the brown one, the one that comes separate, is the one without.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Made my own life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Spend 2 calculators there.
Lovely.
I think at this point I realised what I should have done is spent 1 off one off the other for Kraken. So
yes,
I'd have kept 1 on each because you can only keep a maximum of 1 per ship.
Yeah, and of course you get a network calculated from his friends.
Yes, exactly. I think I got overly happy to be getting some damage through.
Oh yeah, that's easy enough. Finally, his friend
Roll the blank.
reroll.
For at least 2, the light. Poor reflection there. We'll see.
Yeah, that's 2 hits.
There you go. Focus has finally been spent from the look of that there.
So that's another. That's all shields down. There we go.
Yes, they are. So that'd be why I believe he kept it. Is just.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with keeping your tokens for defensive reasons. The debate is always: when you have a nice attack with lots of focuses, do you keep it or do you save it? If he had other modifiers, then maybe keeping it would have been a good idea.
That was hit crit through right there from one of the other ships onto poor Dash. Can't quite see from here which the crit that is.
That looks like a fuel leak to me, I think.
Yeah, quite a painful round for Dash there. So 6 damage done.
6 damage out of 10.
Yes.
So that's first
already
combat round.
Pointed.
Already half, yeah.
Yep. Dash, out of the 2 ships that Quinn flies, Dash was the 117 points for Dash. It's the big money shot to go for if you're going to go for one ship early on. So
yeah, that's big point you have there already. But I wouldn't count him out just yet because Lando, he's not partaken in combat this round, so bringing him in could do a lot for Quinn.
Yes, yeah, and with Lando obviously slooping along that outside there, down along in front of me, I can imagine turrets will be, I think that from the look of them, they're already rotated to the side. So, if it was myself, it'd be a 3-bank type maneuver or even a 2-bank if you want to be a bit more careful just to get straight along that bottom edge. You're going to get shot off with Lando this round regardless.
Yeah, and in fact, considering that his stress might even be more helpful to Quinn at the moment, considering his ability. So Lando, he can dish out a free action to any friendly ship at range 0 to 3, so that includes himself, after he performs a blue maneuver, which is most likely what Quinn will do now.
And with Neo Num on the ship, obviously all of his bank maneuvers are dropped down in difficulty level, so all banks on the YT 1300 are blue.
I think that would be perfect actually. Any bank, even a 3-bank, taking him nice up towards the edge, but his turret is in the left and right.
Exactly.
He'd have an absolutely beautiful shot on any of those droids.
So yeah, free banking, you'll clear the stress that's already on him, which could be perfect. You can do an action for yourself and then choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 3. That ship may perform an action, so you can give Dash an action before Dash even needs to move.
Yeah, potentially even 2 actions for yourself if you think that's necessary.
Yes, exactly.
It's one of my favourite mechanics when a ship can bring out an additional action to himself as well. I think that's great. My most common pilot would be Ahsoka for that one.
I'm not familiar with Miss Tano. What is she? What's her card?
Similar to Lando, after she fully executes a maneuver, she can spend a force to dish out an action to a friendly ship at range 0 to 1. So including herself, and it can be while stressed as well. So that's even more powerful, I think.
It's quite horrible sounding.
It's very nasty. HMP
bumping away again.
Yeah, that's
the only thing. I'm still playing with swarms, kind of weekly. Or a bit of a nudge there as well. Just fix that up.
That's all right.
Playing with swarms. So many more things to have to remember and work out.
It is harder, yeah. You have, when you turn and you've got ships in close proximity together, you have to take into account how much they'll come across their friend. And it does take a lot of time and judgment to work out where to go and if a turn will clear it or if you'll bump.
That's Grievous bumping in as well. Not the best placement this turn, but at least cleared the stress.
Not for Grievous, but he's stress-free. But the rebels are going to come into his firing arc, so he's definitely going to get a shot of some kind.
Oof, and Dash is running away. Obviously, we're having a two-sided turret, can shoot out backwards anyway, which still, unfortunately, negates poor Grievous. Oh, and he's dropping a bit of cargo.
Yeah, so that is an extra action that he can do, and he's going to drop that right under.
Right next to all my stuff.
Yeah. Now, does that affect that droid, considering he's already landed on a asteroid?
I think from the look of it, it was the action from memory. It just about fit in, and it was just because of the calculators underneath. But I'm not sure if he was to drop it directly on, because I'm already grappling strutted, if it would actually cause me an issue or not.
No, I don't think it's touching anyway, but it is just next to the base, so any closer.
It was a cozy, yes, for sure.
Not a bad decision though. That's going to affect the HMP and Grievous. The best thing for the HMP, I think, now would be to sideslip. The only problem is, of course, he bumped, so he's not allowed to flip his config card.
Yes, yeah, sideslip could work, but as I say, I very rarely actually utilise the sideslip. I'd be interested to see if I actually did it in this game or not. I can't quite remember anymore.
It would be interesting. This is one of those moments, but we shall see.
This is a Dash going in on one of my poor vultures. So I believe it's Brown on the so top of my side of the field. 1 damage onto Brown.
Yep. And now the bonus attack for Bistan. Now,
just checking if it was obstructed or not.
Yeah.
The closest point to closest point. So obviously it makes all the difference.
It does when you have trick shot, yes.
Not. Yes. And myself, obviously.
That might be why Quinn's keeping the focus as well. I've just got up Bistan's card, and his ability only triggers while you are focused.
Okay.
So that might be sense. Yes. That explains why he's keeping onto that focus as tightly as possible.
Yes, because you keep it for an extra turn. You or keep it. Don't use it. Keep it. So would it be worth potentially, if you have the points available, chucking on a perceptive co-pilot as a crew member of that ship?
I think that'd be a great combo.
Yeah, 2 focus tokens. Use 1 on your attack. Retain your second one for use to shoot again, effectively.
I think that'd be a really good combo. And that'd be something worth trying, maybe. Because then you'd have your initial focus to have that ability, but you'd also have a focus to spend on your attack, which I think might be the only thing that Quinn is lacking at the moment, is having another focus to actually use.
Yes, absolutely. I think there I got a bit die happy and rolled my defense before the actual attack had been chucked in. And we reverted it. Quinn put his attack in. I think I only rolled 1 evade or 1 eye, and then because I got a bit die happy, restarted it quickly, took my die off, rolled it again after Quinn had put 2 shots in, and I'd rolled 2 defense die. So I was like, okay, 2 evade, I'll take that.
It's now down to your attacks.
Grievous will be first. I think Grievous might have just gone just then. She only gets. Well, this might be Grievous now. Hard to.
No, that was a blank out. Next up is the HMP. He's firing at range 1 into Dash. That's unlucky. That's 3 blanks for the HMP. That's a shame, but they were both... Vulture Droid there.
And that's a crit and 2 eyes. So 2 hits and a crit potentially, or 3 hits at the very least.
You got 3 hits from spending your calculates there, which is excellent.
That would have been an energy shell charge shot then.
Yeah.
Because you only get 2 normally with the vultures on the attack. Oh, does one become a crit with energy shell charges?
I think so. I believe it does, yes. Which is
yes, change 1 eye to a crit result.
That is nuts.
That's poor Dash there.
Another 2 goes through.
Yep.
That's putting him very close to death. I can count 5 cards there.
5 now, yeah. Because if it was a fuel leak from earlier, it would have been a crit. The next crit that comes through also creates another hit. So if 2 went through, because it looks like there's 1 evade token at the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, if 2 went through, it would have been 3 damage, thanks to the extra hit from the crit.
Yes.
Painful. Poor Dash.
Yeah, he's certainly not going to last much longer, I'm afraid to say. Just measuring to see if the other Vulture has a shot on Lando.
Yes, yeah, definitely had a shot. It was what range are we at currently? See, that Vulture only has... Oh, that's a blank out from Quinn. That is...
Oh dear.
2 hits on Lando.
That's not what you want.
Yes, I mean, to be fair though, Lando has got obviously 13 hit points. So, only 1 defense die, but 13 hit points is nothing to sniff your nose at.
That looks to me like the end of the shooty phase, which means we head back to the dials.
That's the other thing that gets me as well, when you've got a swarm with so many dials to deal with. You know, I'm almost envious of Quinn only having to worry about 2 dials, as it's figuring out 5 different moves and making sure everyone is hopefully in a good spot.
It does mean you have less to worry if you have less ships than your opponent, but then it means they have more guns to put into your ships. So it can be 6 and 2 3s. That's the phrase. Yes. Swarm lists are easier to put damage into, but more ace lists with fewer ships can be easier to judge and fly because you've not got so much to worry about.
Yes, yeah, and you've only got 2, 3, 4 ships to worry about. Compare that to 5 upwards, it definitely makes a difference. Having to really forward plan and think.
Yeah. There was a gentleman called Alex who flew a Separatist swarm, and he decided, I'm going to go as many ships as possible with absolutely no upgrades at all. So he had 7 ships in his list, which is 1 off the maximum. So there was a lot to consider and a lot to worry about. But there was lots of opportunity where he could have gone. He did have to check that he'd had the right thing on the right ship.
Yes, definitely. Just watching there, so 2 moves over debris cloud, over asteroid. Should be rolling for damage if I did it all correctly, because obviously weapon shots you have to finish, we move on. Yep, there we are.
You do, yes.
Rolling to see what I did. Yep.
It's the one weakness with the droid's grappling strut is that if you do not land it, if you go through it, then you still suffer the usual damage. Which
I think is fair, because grappling struts you can't deploy them whilst you're flying along to almost bounce yourself off the rock. That'd be a bit unfair, I think.
I agree.
Although also that was a crit as well for that poor droid.
It does. It looks very nasty.
I will just explain the reason I've got no shields on Grievous that you can see out is because I managed to leave my box of stuff with all that at home that week, because I'd done a nice big reorganisation, sort it all out, and yeah, whoops.
It's always something. You think, have I got everything? And you always panic, have I left one box of something?
Yes, and for a change, I actually had forgotten something.
Yeah. It's a common mistake. I think our friend Ed once upon a time left his bases behind the ship bases, not the plastic. So he had to run away and grab that.
Go grab them. It's interesting, obviously, watching yourself back. 'Cause I never review matches that I've been in and done.
Yeah.
But watching that, I took an extra calculate there with the brown vulture droid. And I think I could have easily taken a target lock.
Mm.
I was almost wondering why I didn't, because obviously Kraken, I've got 2 on there, so I had 1 spare anyway. So, interesting why I didn't take the target lock.
Yeah.
It's interesting watching yourself back afterwards. Potentially, if I knew I was bumping and I wanted the extra network calculations to work nicely, could always be a reason.
Yeah. I'm really getting into it, observing how I operate and watching them back, because you do see where you potentially went wrong. I recommend to the guys who I hope are going to watch this and enjoy this and have a wonderful time, that there's a lot of benefit to it, actually. So you can see and rethink where you went wrong or what you might have done differently. You haven't actually done much target locking for any of your droids in this game.
No, which is surprising, really, for myself. I'd have thought I would have done. Because it's definitely a bread and butter manoeuvre I do, is to get the target locks in. I know I've done it in previous games. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I say, watching yourself back, it's always, if you could go back and redo some stuff, maybe I would change this or change that. Obviously, Grievous there in a lovely position against Dash. Dash's guns haven't turned from the look of it.
Yeah, I think
so.
Grievous is perfectly positioned.
Yeah, Dash is definitely going to have Grievous full force with Soulless 1. No, not Soulless 1, sorry, just Invincibility from General Grievous. Yep, while you form a primary attack. If you're not in the defender's firing arc, I can re-roll up to 2 attack die.
Yeah, so you've got lots of mods from Grievous, and you're at range 1, which is the worst place to have an enemy ship if you're Dash.
Four attack die from Grievous, and range, and I get to re-roll up to 2 of them if needed. And Dash only has 1 hull left and 2 defense die. So really, Dash could be in a world of hurt right now.
And Dash is starting off by taking on that droid.
That poor little droid.
It's taking something.
Yeah, something's gotten through. At least, from the look of it, could be 2 evades. Oh, no, it's crit. That droid is definitely out
Gone.
of the game. Destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, they are designed to pop, 2 defense die, 3 hull. They're not supposed to last an entire game. That's why they're cheap and indispensable, as the Clone Wars showed.
Indeed. Losing a Vulture droid is much better than, say, one of Quinn's ships. Taking one of those out is going to be a massive impact on the points. Whereas losing that droid
My Vulture droid was 24 points that was just destroyed, compared to Dash. If Dash goes this round at 117, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, that's painful. It looks like this is a shot into the HMP.
Yes, only 1 defense die for the HMP. There we go, the shield's fine.
Yeah, 2 shields down. How much hull does that have in total, the HMP?
8, so 5 hull and 3 shields. So it's got 8 health overall. So I believe this will be the gunship using multi-missile pods, and then spending 2 extra energy tokens to roll 4 die into the side of Lando. Oh no, actually, tell a lie, it was Grievous shooting Dash.
Yeah, that's Dash. He's done 3. That's 3 hits into Dash. and with no defense dice, or nothing on his defense dice even, he's out.
That is dash destroyed, absolutely.
That's a big lot of points that you just gained there.
Yes, 117 for the 24 he took off me to begin with. As I said a minute ago, I will take that to the bank.
Absolutely. Now I think we have...
Now this will be...
This will be a HMP.
Gunship doing its thing.
That's one with an I and a blank. What can we do to that? Yeah.
Oof, blank from Quinn, so that's another shield off.
Doesn't look like he's had very nice dice today.
No, there were quite a few blanks going on. It's always the way, ain't it? It's never the flying or the list you've brought, it's the dice.
It is. Unfortunately, it is. And if you can modify them and mitigate them as best you can, then you've done well.
Absolutely. Anything that gives you free rerolls, or even just having the green tokens, but rerolls especially. If you roll blanks, there's nothing you can do about that. Size Hunters now popping some shots in. It's at least one more damage through.
It is
that the second one. Looks like it was range 2 on just a normal shot here.
Another 2 for him. Oh dear.
That's 2 on 2 blanks. Quinn hasn't had a
He's not having a good day, and those gestures.
And
those gestures confirmed it.
Buy a new pack of die from Entoyment in Paul.
He said that the other day. He's got 16 dice now, and every time he feels he needs brand new ones that actually might work, he's got quite a lot.
I've only ever played in one tournament since playing X-Wing, and one of the guys I came up against used to leave his die in the crit position face up for the attack die to train them to remember what a crit is, in the hope that it would somehow improve life.
And did it work?
It didn't. No.
Oh.
No. Well, I don't think he needed it because he was flying a swarm of 7 or 8 vultures, whatever the max is. Was it 6 vultures and a Nantex? I think actually. Either way, it was horrible, and he didn't need it because he was throwing that many die at me. You couldn't keep track of it.
Fair enough.
First tournament, I'd only been playing a couple months. Yeah, it wasn't the best of times.
I might try it just to see if I'm superstitious enough to try that. I don't think I am.
I mean, there was one guy at the tournament who had a lucky cup that he rolled all his die in. So one of the other blokes that knew him nicked it, and the guy was frantically looking around for his cup before the game started. Before the other guy gave up the duke and was like, "Yeah, I borrowed it to take a mick." And yeah, a look of panic on his face. Quite amusing.
That does sound funny. But what is all the little quirks that different players have to try and make their dice better if they think that will improve their luck? Perhaps.
Well, yeah. I mean,
perhaps we could have some people comment and say what they are.
Yes, absolutely. I think people retire dice or won't touch them for months on end because these dice are tainted. It's always amusing to watch.
I personally think it's rubbish. In my opinion, you have a bad day, you have a good day.
Yes, it's the luck of the dice. The dice do not have favoritism. It's just pure luck.
Quinn might argue with that, but
very possibly. So it's the gunship doing a 2 hard left. Obviously, nowhere to go because Lando's Falcon is just sat in the way. Really
he's like bumping this game, I've noticed. He's very rarely fully executed any manoeuvres.
Yes, like I say, I'm not the best flyer. I have some games where I will, on a knife edge, land a ship next to an asteroid, perfect manoeuvre, could not have tried any harder. And I have other games where I just hit myself constantly. But,
I think you and me have had some good ones. I think you've done some great flying, especially with the HMP, in fact.
Yes, I think we had a game on Phil's channel where Grievous did a nice turn and landed perfectly next to an asteroid. And it
did, yes.
Better if I had tried to.
Yeah, that was a good game.
I don't seem to have a happy medium of somewhere sat in the middle. I'm either really, my flying seems to go really well, or I bump everything.
Sounds about right, I think.
So these are another lovely little trick that the droids do. If you do a maneuver that is a turn of any kind, you just turn 90 degrees in that direction when you're sat on a rock or debris.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What's good about it is again with the side slip as well, it's maneuvers that they can do that make you think that you actually don't think are possible. You forget, you think, right, they're going to come this way, they've got to go this way. In this case, you think, right, they would be turning left some way and moving away. But actually, no, we're just going to sit there as you come around the corner and we're going to ping some guns into you.
Well, there we are. I've just seen as well the two droids with their calculates have taken the opportunity to focus. To target lock the Falcon. There we are. I've cleared my stress. Oh no, carry on. Which on Grievous should have cleared the stress. I might be rethinking of because obviously Grievous can barrel roll into a red focus or boost into a red focus.
Yes, he can. Can he do a double reposition, barrel roll and boost?
No, it's either a barrel roll or boost into a red focus.
Okay.
Or you can obviously just do one or the other.
Yeah.
Unless Grievous doesn't have a crit or anything to say must stay stressed. I'd have to listen back to the footage as to why the general remained stressed as he did.
We could check that. Did he? Unless he didn't do a de-stressful maneuver.
Well, so Grievous's dial, a 2 or a 3 straight are blue maneuvers.
Okay.
So I'd be interested as to why. I don't think I did a 4, looking at the distance it moved. So it'll be interesting to see why that happened.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a faux pas, a bit of a brain fart moment in the game.
Can always be. All right, Lando is taking a shot.
One of my poor little droids.
Oh yes.
It's one crit through onto one of my droids. Oh no, one more hit. So crit and a hit on one of my droids. Another one's got full health still.
Yep.
Gunship is down 1 shield, and Grievous is still at full health. Although currently not doing anything.
No, that is 1 hit and 1 evade. So Lando is still safe. Looks like the other droid is going to shoot him now.
Yep, either range 1 or range 2. We'll have to see what happens.
I think it's interesting to note that the droid, because of his strut, ignores the asteroid.
Yes, this is something that was recently redebated at Entoyment. I think the way the rules are written and how it will set is, whilst you are strutted onto it, you gain all of the bonuses of the asteroid being in the way, but none of the negatives. So when you're shooting off of it, as long as there is debris or rock in the way, you're laughing if someone tries to shoot you back through it. So yes, it's quite a nice little thing, and I can imagine obviously in space everything's it'll be a big 3D rock. If it turns enough, you'll get a shot off the top, whereas someone trying to shoot from lower down or whatever might completely miss or hit into the rock. So I think it's a fair rule for them.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable rule.
Lando's taken a damage card on Lando. Yeah,
his shields are down. Another 3 hits. So he's starting to hurt real bad.
Yep, 5 hull left for Lando here. Against a fully powered up Grievous, a gunship that's only lost a shield, a droid that's still got full health, and another droid that's down to its last hull from the look of things.
Yeah, I think Grievous is the one to worry about at the moment. Obviously, he's going to remain stressed next turn. He's got to do some form of hard turn.
Yes, hard one at the very least, which is still a white manoeuvre, so it will remain stressed.
Yeah.
Depending on... I can't imagine Lando going anywhere other than carrying on its current trajectory down and around that asteroid. Would make no sense for him to attempt anything else, really.
Yeah. I think if he could fly as fast as he possibly can, like a bank 3 would be good, or even a straight manoeuvre.
Bank 3, I think, would have the hazard of hitting onto that rock. Very potentially, because of the big base of the ship.
Potentially. I think he'll clear it and just be about just in front of it, in between that and the gas cloud. But I think he wants to run away from the HMP and maybe the droids if they decide to stay there, which they probably won't.
No, I think if looking at it now, if I was to do something from this moment, I'd absolutely do a 2 forward for both of them to get them moving. Maybe not the top one. Maybe the top one will stay where as is, because he's going to have an arc on the Falcon no matter what, I reckon. But certainly the bottom one, 2 forward, get him mobile, get him moving. I believe this might even be myself checking some rules on the left, looking at articles. Couldn't remember which one if you ask me now, but double checking something.
Could be a preview. Every week we were checking the previews of what we've got to come at the end of this month. So
did we get one this week? I don't think we did we?
I think we're all done. I think we've got.
That's a shame.
We've had everything that we've been promised by Mr. FFG. The last one we had was the Separatist fire spray.
Django Fett.
That's going to be exciting.
I like the look of the fire spray. I like the 3 out the front, 2 out the back. It's the only reason I've ever been tempted to look at the Scum faction is because you get to mess around with fire sprays.
And now you don't have to. You've got it in the
Exactly. So that's an easy Christmas present to ask for from family. Just get me this.
Just get me a fire spray, please. Get me a couple of tries, I have a lovely lady who bought me a Jedi Interceptor, so that's great.
Oh, the new one that's come out.
The new one, so I've got that for my birthday, which shall hopefully still be on the end of lockdown. Well, my birthday will still be on the same day. Hopefully lockdown will still be on my birthday.
Now, Boris is very gung-ho that as of the 2nd we will be reopening again. He's very much of that opinion.
I promise that I will reopen shops and everything else on the end of the 2nd of December. And you can go to work and do something I do. Yeah, Land's going to do some Landoing, or Grievous is going to do some Grievousing. There you go. There's a hard one.
Hard one. So potential for, because of the big base, if Lando moves on a straight, I will be in arc quite nicely. Look at that. It's a straight.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and that's a lot of that's that 3 target locks.
I see you're using the ID markers as target locks.
Yes, well, like I said, I left all my stuff at home without realising it. I got there, pulled out my boxes, and went, damn. So better than nothing to show that I've got a target lock again.
Still works pretty good.
Yes, it's a unique number to a ship.
So this is Lando's shot, isn't it?
Yes. So I say what, an eye and a focus from Lando? Oh yeah, that looked like it.
And very evasive evade there.
Yep, so this is going to be a range 3.
Yeah, it looks like a range 3 to me.
Yep, that's a shame. Still get the 2 rerolls though. So, you know, you can't complain with Grievous on that.
You cannot indeed.
Or not.
He might have been an arc actually.
Oh, yes. If he's got, it looks like it's front and back from the look of the ship. Which is a shame. So only 2 from the Onderan. Reroll 1 for a target lock. There we are. 2 hits. 1 evade at least. 2 evades. Spending focus.
So he's still safe, which is pretty good.
Yes.
Which leaves the Vulture droid. Alright, so there is Vulture number 1.
Yep.
Still safe. Looks like the dice are finally coming out a bit for Quinn, which is all well and good. 1 hit and 1 evade. Yeah, so absolutely safe.
Yeah, so it looks like Quinn potentially double checking some rules as well. Just making sure of a few facts.
Yeah, I think checking out Biston was a key one. I didn't realise he had to be focused to use him.
Yes, which is quite a good.
Oh, sorry, he's on the wrong ship instead.
But he wasn't dash, but it's quite. I mean, as a getting to do a bonus primary attack, happy days. That's why I quite like Darth Maul so much on the Separatist. Especially forced to attack against either the person you just shot at if you didn't get anything through, or someone else, because you can.
Yeah, he's a very powerful on a large ship as well.
I'm a big fan of Darth Maul, and I think I will be one of my first lists I'll be creating is a Darth Maul Jango Fett duo, and see what happens.
That's going to be nasty. I can already tell.
It's just something about the idea of it just appeals to me.
Yeah, exactly. Be nice and scary.
Yes.
So HMP is coming in already with a bank 2. Now let's see what the droids do.
First droid's doing nothing. Second droid's doing nothing, just calculating.
Interesting.
Yeah, looks like the other one could have. Oh, unless Quinn target locked one of my droids. Yes, from the look of it, Quinn has got a target lock against one of my poor droids. Grievous just idly chasing along as well.
I think Grievous is doing well. I potentially could even do a boost in. Just there you go. That's got you out of arc as well. That's perfectly done.
Well, YT 1300 Lando still to move. Obviously, Initiative 5.
That's true.
Moves after.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna change things.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's still very much in arc.
That would have been a cracking out manoeuvre though.
Oh. But he has target locked Grievous now with Lando, and there's other 3 target locks should be pushed up.
Yeah.
Onto Lando.
Let's see what he does. I assume we're going to take on Grievous with Lando.
Rather possibly, he would make. I think it's the only shot he's got. To be fair, his arc is forward back. Grievous is the only one at any form of range. I don't think the gunship is at range 3.
I think the droids are out of range as well, even.
Quite possibly, yes.
Let's see.
Trying to remember back to this to see if it was a game that went to time, or if we, or if it was a defeat, a full-on defeat.
We shall see, indeed. How much has Lando got left? I think he's got.
I think there's 5 left.
5 whole left.
There are
So
3 target locks chasing him.
Yeah. Any decent damage, a decent hit will wipe him out. So it could go either way.
Yep, I see Grievous has still got all of his, not only all of his health, that's 7 with 5 hit hull and 2 shields. He's also then got the Soulless one, so that's including the bonus of 2. And then Impervium plating, so before you be dealt face up ship damage, just spend a charge, discard it.
Yeah, definitely. I think to bring it back, Quinn's going to need to take out Grievous and the HMP. I don't think he needs
Grievous
to worry about the droids too much. It's 3 hits, and that's 2 evades. So Grievous, he's now lost all his shields.
Yes. Very much so. The other oppressor's still got one on him. Oh, that's a blank out from Grievous.
That's not what you wanted. And you don't get any rerolls, do you?
No, because I am in arc of Grievous. He hasn't got its in arc of Lando. He hasn't moved it sideways or anything.
Yeah. H&P. Ooh, that's a close one. I think he's just got it.
Does it have a shot?
I think he's just got it.
Trying to move it through. Yep, I think H&P has got a range 3 at Lando.
That's good.
You know, it's only 2 attack die, but can with up to 3 rerolls, which, you know, pretty pointless having 3 because I only get 2 die. But
can't argue with it.
Exactly. Well, while they're there.
Keeping one of them. Keeping one of them actually, and just re-rolling 1, and you have 2 there with a calculate, and 1 goes through, so that's another card. Not bad. So just whittling away is always good. Yeah, and the droids are out.
Yes, Lando out of 13 total health has only got 4 left, so it's easily half pointed at this point. It's now just a case of can he get the win before time is up.
It's hard to say in situations like this. It's a strange setup as well because you've got the droids on those obstacles and they could just pivot if they needed to, especially where they are now, because they have to do a straight 2 to get off.
Kind of the field of play now, I would, if I was, without obviously remember what I was doing, I'd turn them both on the spot so that next turn they can both fly forward.
Yeah.
However, I didn't do that. So oh, no, yes I did. There we are, turned on the spot, so that next turn I can do a 2 forward and just get clear.
Yeah, I think that's better because Quinn's put Lando, he's sent him all the way around the board.
Looking at it there, the other droid did a 2 forward straight away because if he had turned and done it, there was a chance I'd have landed on the rock, which if you do after grappling struts, I think because your struts have been undone, you can't then redo them in the same turn like that. So it would have been a potential bad time.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, getting him out of the way and into flight mode is good, whereas the other one, he could then fly the other direction and you can head Lando off.
Yes, absolutely. And there's the gunship chasing down Lando as well.
Gunship's done pretty good, I have to say. Been nicely on the tail of Lando for the last few turns.
Yes, a gunship Grievous combo chasing down Lando, I think is quite a nice, scary thought, I'd imagine, for Quinn at this point.
I think so. Both are jumping up bank 2s as well. Grievous as well.
Yeah, I can imagine from here, Lando would have been obviously carrying on his little tirade around the board. So, you know, readily positioned and look at a boost.
Doing it again and again. Yeah, it seems like a straightforward format for Grievous. He just needs to keep chasing up, doing his link, see where Lando's going to end up, and hopefully be outfoxed by him, which I think Quinn might have just
1 forward.
That's not a bad decision for Quinn, because if he just carried on, you're well aware that's what he should do, but if he does something, he might still have a shot, Grievous, but I certainly think that's a good shout from from Lando.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's still in.
Still in and at range 1.
Ooh.
So that's, although if Quinn's turret, I think I'm still in the turret arc here, so no doubt No re-rolls, but I've got a focus and 4 shots with General Grievous.
Yeah.
All of them go through against one single. But I'm being obviously shot first.
4 dice versus 2, and then 4 dice versus 1.
Extremely painful.
Oh, that's 2 more.
2 evades, so yeah, 2 damage.
And it's a crit damage.
Oh, yeah. It
But
looks
it was a ship card, so you've impervium plated it. That's great. Whenever I've fought Grievous, that's one of my. You think, oh great, I could have got a direct hit, but direct hit is a ship card. And he goes,
yes,
no.
Of all the types of cards to be hit by, a direct hit, and it's like, you've hit me directly, but I ignore it.
Yeah.
No, what?
It's
get a laser pen out to check.
It's a great counter.
Absolutely. There we are. Ouch, that's a blank out.
Whose shot is this one?
It'll be Grievous at range 1.
Okay, so this is Grievous. That's not
Grievous
good.
with 3 blanks and 1 hit, and Lando got, look at it, 1 evade. I think I swore at my die then, or at Lando.
I've noticed a few gestures in this one. I'm deciding whether I'll cut them out or not, or do something.
I can get very animated when playing. I'll be honest.
I'm the same. You just think there's a point where it gets a little bit ridiculous how unlucky you can be. It's that point you get a little bit irritated. But then when it goes the other way, you get so animated. It's hilarious.
Grievous and only get 1. Yes, we'll just then 4 die Grievous, 3 blanks. Like, you perfect McClunky right there.
I think the most animated I ever got in a game was when I fought. I had broadside left, and he was fighting Suntir, and both of them needed 1 damage to die. And it was far more likely that Suntir would destroy broadside than the game, but he missed.
Yes.
And I then got 1 damage, which was far more likely, and he blanked out, and I won. Crazy. Well, I don't think my opponent was very happy.
Because I've had games where first flattered people. Yeah, I've had games where first engagement, wiped ship straight off the board, easy as pie. But other games where it's really not happened. And so the Under and Oppressor doing a 5 forward, which is stressful for him, unfortunately. It always baffles me how going in a straight line can be stressful, but.
Is it stressful, or is it? Do you decrease the difficulty? I think you decrease the difficulty when you're in your normal mode.
Of course, yes. If the stabilizers reduce the difficulty of your straight maneuvers, you are correct. That's why I didn't get a stress just now.
That makes sense. So normally it's on the dial it's a red 5, but
stressful maneuver.
Yeah, when you have your stabilizers inactive. On the normal mode, you decrease the difficulty of all your straights.
This is me checking if I messed up. Yeah,
so
Grievous is going to bump, which isn't overly bad because it means I'm definitely going to have lots of arcs pointing at Lando, because the only realistic move Lando's got is a too hard to the left, I'd say.
Well, he's doing a 1 bank to the left, so it looks like he's going to rotate.
1 boost, okay. A 1 bank. That's
the good thing.
Interesting maneuver.
Yeah.
I personally probably would have gone too hard, but
yeah.
Yep, and there's a rotate of the arc.
And a focus.
However, you have got the Oppressor. Yeah, Oppressor aiming straight forward, along with Grievous aiming at him.
Oh, I know why. Because he could do his extra action with Lando. That's why he did such a little maneuver. That makes sense.
Yes, actually, yes, because the blue, it would have been a blue, not a white, because of Nien Num. So yeah, he focused and rotated the turret.
Really good. That's a really good move there. So now this looks like Grievous's shot, and he still gets nothing.
And, again, blanks. What is with the blanks?
I think it's better that even though he bumped, he was able to clear the stress.
Yes, yeah, I think Grievous is quite good at, for clearing stress, you've got a 2 or 3 straight or a 2 bank either way. Nice little moves to clear stress.
Yeah.
So you can, the right scenario. Yes, this will be the last of the tokens for it.
Yeah, multi-missile pod gets you 3 hits into Lando. Dodges one of them.
Against one.
Best results, another 2. He's getting close, I think. He's getting close. So we're back at the top again.
Vultures don't, but I'm not sure. Yeah, back to dials.
It could be the last one here, though. Quite possibly.
Time is running out.
You've got Vulture number 1 up the top. He's just going to come straight in and block off Lando's escape there, whereas the other 3 just continue to chase, and they'll have him.
Yes, absolutely. It's not a position I'd want to be in if I was Lando.
If it was me at the moment, I would try and think, how could I get the most points, considering things are probably not going to go my way? And the answer to that is, I think, going for Grievous.
Yes, Grievous has obviously taken damage and has no shields or anything anymore. You've got the worry of, if you were to get a crit through, is it a ship crit? If it is, you're going to feel really bad for yourself.
Yeah. Getting critical damage on Grievous would still be difficult, though he only has 1 charge left on his impervium plating. He has got extra hull as well. But I still think
realistically, Lando only gets normal 3 shots. So if Grievous with at least 4 hull left, you'd either have to get extremely lucky, or I'd have to get extremely unlucky, which, to be fair, isn't outside the realm of possibility in this game.
No, it's not. Seems like
That's the HMP just flying forward and bumping. That's the droid doing the same thing.
Yeah, everybody just sliding up. I mean, he's still got a calculate from the previous turn, so it's not a big issue there because of Kraken.
No, and he's also got.
They all have target lock. He's also got
target lock still on Lando. And there you go. Grievous is in a nice open position. Take a focus, I think, if it was me right now. I mean, it is me right now, but we'll see what I did. Oh, actually, boost.
Boost and focus.
Forward.
I mean, that is a calculate token, but he did focus.
Would have been a calculate token chucked on just to show the green token, as I did leave all of my tokens at home that week without realising it.
Yeah, so he's focused, even though that may look like a calculate token. It's another bank 1. So he's going for the double action, I think, which is pretty good, actually. That's a target lock and a focus. So he's going to do a nice shot into Grievous. That's 4 versus 2. So another 2 hits into Grievous.
That's Grievous at half points, but still alive.
Still alive. You're able to discard some of those crits. With the impervium plating, but that's still, he's now taken 3 cards, which puts him at
2 hull left.
2, yes, including his soulless one. Now, Grievous does 2 damage. No, that's 1 damage, and he nicely evades it. So, onto the HMP, who's doing a range 1. There's no more rockets to fire, I think.
No, I don't believe so. So it would just be nice 3 die straight into him.
Yeah, 2 hits and no evades, which is enough to kill him. So that is the end of the game. Awesome.
So not the best of flying, not the cleanest of games I've ever been in, but a win is a win, and I will always gracefully accept it.
As you should. Tell us what you thought about that, Ash.
Oh yeah, I mean, nice watching back to see what I did, where I think I could have done a bit better. Obviously, the bumping wasn't quite perfect. Placement of ships, flying wise, but all in all, it still worked. As far as lists go, the idea is there. Chuck all the target locks onto a ship, let the HMP re-roll away against it. Obviously, Grievous can dot around the map, causing a nuisance to everybody. And then the droids are just really cheap ships, but you get an extra, with the 3 of them, again at least 6 die, depending if I can pop off the energy shells or not. Really, so it can be quite dangerous when it all goes my way.
It is. Vulture droids, when there's more of them, they can do a lot more damage than you think. So they are something to be reckoned with, even though they are cheap and not very strong. Yes,
all of a sudden, if you've got 3 ships firing at you, 3-4 ships firing at you, the first one you use your focus token because you're like, I don't want to take the damage. You've still got 3 more ships then shooting away at you, and you've got no way of modifying your die. So you've either got to roll really well, which if you do, it's really annoying, or hope that they roll really bad.
Well, that is the end of the game, and that therefore the end of this video. I want to say a big thank you to Ash.
No worries, thank you for having us on. It's been a good time.
It has. We'll definitely do this again, I can promise you that. Is there anything anybody you'd like to shout out or thank or anything like that?
Just all of the guys of the Entoyment Imperator Squadron. Everybody, on a Wednesday night where we play these games, brings a nice level of enthusiasm, a nice bit of fun. All the games are casual, fun games. If someone makes a mistake or forgets something, nobody's overly anal about it. Unless we're gearing up for a particular tournament or anything, everyone's really just chill and enjoys it. So just a big shout out to all the guys who've helped me develop lists like this and let me test them out and see what happens.
There are a bunch of great guys, and we have great fun, both of us. So I really like that. So big thank you to them. Thanks to everyone who's watching, and have a safe lockdown, and we'll see you soon.